Kemi Badenoch has been accused of bullying and traumatising staff. We're going to read into this exclusive from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from The Guardian with the headline that Kemi Badenoch has been accused of bullying and traumatising staff. The exclusive reveals that at least 3 department officials allegedly felt pushed out by the MP's behaviour as business secretary. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share us across social media so others are notified of this video. Is it me, or is it just happens to be a coincidence that after she announces that she's running for leader of the Conservative Party, that now this comes out? I'm just putting that out there. I'm not saying, I'm just putting that out there. I just think the timing is a bit odd. Like you could have put this out during the election campaign, where to really ramp up and put her seat under strain. That maybe might have helped, but now we're hearing about this now, just as she's declared her leadership, her nomination basically to run as a Conservative leader. We're only hearing this now. But as another caveat, I think it's also important to highlight is that if you were to ask the many people, those who obviously are in the weeds of politics, most people would say, nah, they're not surprised by this. I mean, her attitude, the way she comes across quite arrogant, I think, in some of her interviews as well. And you've seen it in the House of Commons, and she has been also crossed the line a few times as well, upset the speaker as well. And to be fair, looking at that, when you see it, I mean, we don't know what she's like when the cameras are off her. We can only speculate on what others tell us. But I have to say, this definitely fits who she is. It definitely fits the kind of person that she is. And this is why we do not want to see her. You don't really want her to become the leader of the Conservative Party. Now, some people will say it doesn't matter who becomes the next leader of the Conservative Party. And the reason that they say this is because they expect the Conservatives to crash and burn straight away. Which, I can understand that point. But you want a proper opposition that's going to hold Labour government to account. And at the moment, I just don't see, and I'm inclined to agree that, yeah. And the thing is that Labour can kind of get away with kind of anything willy-nilly for a while, because like Rishi Sunak, who's basically now the caretaker until a new leader is announced, all the way up till November. I mean, he's going to be throwing is he really going to throw hardball questions at Keir Starmer? That first Prime Minister's question was very soft, very, very soft. I don't expect a lot of hardball questions to come from Rishi Sunak at Keir Starmer. I really, really don't. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he will. Push his feet to the fire. I mean, I think if it would have been Labour, that was the main opposition, maybe. But anyway, not enough on here and there. But on Kemi Badenoch herself, like, I just think that these are the kind of people that you do not want near power, and that you do not want near politics, especially those who are so egotistical and only looking for their own self-interest and not the interests of people. And she's obviously one of those that trying to stir up the culture wars as well, with a whole issue over transgender ideology and whatnot. Not even whatsoever, that whole stuff was just absolutely ridiculous as far as I'm concerned, guys. So let's read what they've had to say in this. So Kemi Badenoch, the frontrunner to be the next Conservative Party leader, she is the odds-on favourite at the moment, has been accused of creating an intimidating atmosphere in the government departments she used to run, with some colleagues describing it as toxic, The Guardian can reveal. And at least 3 officials found her behaviour so traumatising that they felt they had no other choice but to leave, sources claimed. Morale was said to be so low in the Department of Business and Trade last year that senior officials thought it necessary to address concerns about the working culture during an official town hall meeting. This was attended by about 70 staff in person and online on the 13th of December 2023. Sources allege that at least 3 senior officials at Badenoch's private office felt pushed out by what they claim was bullying and traumatising behaviour by Badenoch during the 17 months she ran the department before the Conservatives lost the election. Badenoch has flatly denied behaving in that way. Others who work closely with the former business secretary, who is the bookmakers' favourite to succeed Rishi Sunak, has told The Guardian that they struggle with her behaviour and the atmosphere it created. They were said to have drenched meetings, as they claim individuals were regularly feeling humiliated by Badenoch and reduced to tears afterwards on a handful of occasions. One departmental insider said it was normal for people to lose their rag sometimes, but claimed that Badenoch's treatment could often come across as sustained and personal. A spokesperson for Badenoch said the allegations were completely false and a fraudulent smear. They confirmed that the business secretary had to let go of some senior officials and suggested she found examples of underperformance complaints and bad behaviour within her department, and they added that she had high standards and expectations. So she's saying that she wasn't bullying. Her argument here is that she wasn't bullying and that she had high standards and expectations and they did not deliver them, so she pushed them aside. The thing is, did you really do anything? Have you done anything? In your time as business secretary for the sake of the country, for the sake of the UK? Have you made that difference? No, not really. During Badenoch's time as business secretary, other ministers in the department have understood to have checked in on the well-being of staff, while officials tried to ensure that colleagues who had allegedly been targeted by Badenoch were not left alone in case she upset them. The allegations were never the subject of an official investigation, but sources said officials had spoken privately to the department's permanent secretary, Gareth Davis, about Badenoch's alleged behaviour over the past year. The then Cabinet Office prioritised an ethics team and at least one senior aide to Sunak and Number 10 are understood to have been told informally about one allegation. Investigations are opened only if a formal complaint is made, and none was in this case. And the thing is that the fact they made no public formal case here. So that's a very important point here. There is no suggestion the former Prime Minister was aware of the specific allegations. The Cabinet Office and the spokesperson for Sunak declined to comment. Badenoch, who is now the Shadow Housing Community and Local Government Secretary, entered the Conservative leadership race on Sunday. "If I had the privilege to serve, I would speak the truth again," she said. "That is why today my campaign is launched with explicit focus on renewing our party for 2030, the first full year, so that we can get back in government and the first year of the new decade." When Sunak became Prime Minister in 2022, he promised a government of integrity, professionalism and accountability at every level. The ministerial code states that ministers must maintain the high standards and behaviour of that bullies will not be tolerated. Now, sources allege that the atmosphere in the business secretary's private office was dependent on her mercurial moods and was often toxic and intimidating, and said that while Badenoch was professional in engaging with senior civil servants in other parts of the department, she could be difficult to work for directly. They suggested that she had favourites, as well as people she appeared to single out. The two sources claimed her behaviour could also be passive-aggressive. Another source predicted Badenoch would respond to the allegations by attacking woke civil servants, suggesting they were not up to the job, rather than addressing her own alleged conduct. The Guardian understands that one of the three senior officials told colleagues about several alleged instances, including being berated by Badenoch for 30 minutes in the government car, which left them feeling useless and pointless. Now, that's a very, very extreme allegation there. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, like, even though that it would not surprise me if some of this stuff was to be true, why have there been no formal complaints by the civil servants? And this is a really, really important point, because it's easy for us to make the assumption, based on the TV appearances and what we hear about Kemi Badenoch, to assume that this is exactly what we like. But why is there no evidence of any of this? Why was there no formal complaints by the civil servants put on this? And these are very good questions I think are worth asking, guys. Witnesses describe what they call sustained bullying of the official, including belittling remarks in which they say were unbearable for all of us. They claim that the individual began stammering in Badenoch's presence. As a result, the official began the formal process of being signed off sick, claiming to colleagues that they were being bullied by Badenoch, sources said. They were allegedly sacked 24 hours later, with the minister citing a breakdown relationship. One staff member who left their role did so after being repeatedly berated and demeaned by Badenoch, a source close to the individual said, adding that during their final few months in the post, they were left shaking or on the verge of tears on several occasions. A third senior official moved to the new role after feeling consistently undermined and set up to fail by the minister, sources said. It is understood that two of the senior officials left of their own accord. The staff meeting last December was organised by senior officials in response to the findings about the department in the annual Internal Civil Service Survey. However, they were also understood to have concerns about poor morale among private office staff and working culture fostered by the business secretary over the course of the previous year. The survey finding, which has not been made public, were that 9% of respondents in the private office directories said they experienced bullying or harassment. This is the same level as across the Department of Business and Trade as a whole, and marginally higher than the civil servants' average of 8%. And according to the survey, bullying can be characterised as offensive, intimidating, malicious, or insulting behaviour, as well as a misuse of power in such a way that undermines, humiliates, and degrades or injures the recipient. And at the meeting, staff were shown slides seen by the Guardian listed negatives. Negatives were reported by officials to senior management in October 2023. These include management not listed to their concerns, lack of respect, more anxiety and unhappiness than the previous year, and a failure to lead by example. A department spokesperson said, "We cannot comment on individual HR matters. However, there have never been any formal complaints or investigations into the previous Secretary of State's conduct at this department." And this is the problem here. If there's no formal complaints or investigations, it's literally their word. That's the problem. They should have made a formal complaint. They really should have done, guys. If there was something there. It is common for government departments to seek the views of civil servants and to discuss the results of those surveyed in routine meetings with staff. We do not tolerate abuse or bullying of any kind. While Badenoch was still in post as business secretary, spokesperson for her said these allegations are completely false and a flagrant smear. It is the case that Kemi had to let go of some senior people due to underperformance complaints and bad behaviour. Approached again this week, a spokesperson for Badenoch incorrectly said that the Guardian only had one source for the allegations, who had themselves been accused of bullying. The Guardian has sat for months on these anonymous smears from a disgruntled ex-staffer who was accused of bullying behaviour themselves, because they are more interested in doing Labour's work and undermining Kemi's campaign to be the leader of the Conservative Party than they are in trying to establish the facts. Well, they have 3 sources now instead of 1, they said. As the business department makes clear, there were never any complaints or investigations into Kemi, which makes the smears utterly baseless. Kemi has high standards and expectations, and she has cultivated high-performance civil service teams who enjoy working with her. Nikki Del Costa, a former policy fellow for Badenoch who was at the business department for regular meetings, approached by the Guardian to say that she had a positive experience working with the minister. My impression was of someone with high standards who generally cares about the team she works with. I wasn't aware of any concerns and no issues were raised with me, she said. Now that is only one person there, but still, it is still somebody speaking on behalf of her. But the thing is, guys, there's no formal complaint here. It's not been pushed forward, and it is only. So you have to take this with you do have to, a certain extent, guys. You do have to take this with a pinch of salt. Even if you think or you feel that Kemi Badenoch is definitely someone who has done this, that has allegedly bullied these people and whatnot. Even though it may seem like that and it feels like that, and trust me, I feel like that about Kemi, but. The problem is that if they really had something, they didn't take it further. That's how I feel reading this, guys, because no formal complaints, nothing taking it further forward, and that's the problem. At the end of the day, if you don't file a proper complaint, if you don't actually come out in the open about it, then it's going to be is rumours and allegations. And that's all it is at the end of the day from these civil servants. I'm not saying that they were wrong. I'm not saying that they were right. I'm not saying it's not true or not true. What I'm saying is that if the fact that if what they are saying is true, why did they not take it further? And I think that's a really important point to understand in this situation. As for whether she is that kind of person or not, like I said at the start of the video, she definitely comes across like that with sometimes her attitude on TV and sometimes how she comes across on TV. But we don't honestly know what she's like when the cameras are off, if I'm honest. So we can only speculate what people say at the end of the day. But what do you guys honestly think about all this? Do you actually think there is some truth to this? Do you think there isn't any? Do you think that the civil servants are making this up and trying to set up Kemi Badenoch? Why didn't they try to take it further? If there was a case there for them, let me know your thoughts and more in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.